Man, life with kids. Life with kids is something else. I have kids. They are a money suck and resource black hole. They suck up your time and money. I'm looking at wife and I are looking at summer camp for our 6-year-old. They want $300 a week. So it's for some of these camps. More than that for others. I've seen up to $600 a week. The kids are loud. They're annoying at times. They're hard-headed. Anybody else have kids? Feel me right now? One of the tough things to look at kids at, when you look at kids, they are a mirror of your failures. Some of this stuff is genetics, man. Some of this stuff, you're like, damn, they're too young. We didn't teach this to them. They were just born like this. And where they get it from? Sometimes I'll look at my wife and be like, "That he got that from you. That's your son." Instead of our son, like at this moment, he's your son. That he got that behavior from you. He looks just like you when he does it too. It's kind of a psychological battle with kids. They look like your faults. They look like the faults in your loved one, spouse, or their mother, father. You can't hide from that. They are physically a struggle at times, like literally having to bathe them, shower them, put all that stuff. The good, bad, and the ugly, though, with personality. It's great stuff for personality you'll see in kids. They put stress on relationships. I can speak to that firsthand. No excuse, but they put stress on a relationship. You have to sacrifice a lot of who you are as an individual to raise them. And my approach is to funnel what I am as an individual and present it to them and let them be who they are as individuals. But on top of all that, they are really bundles of joy to me. Would never change it, having kids for anything at this moment. Chelsea Handler has a different opinion. Obviously, she has a different perspective. She doesn't have kids, and she's using comedy to express kind of the joys of not having kids. This is a trend on TikTok, if you don't know. This trend is called Dink. Well, she's not a dink because she's single, so she's a sink. But on TikTok, the trend Dink is double income, no kids. And believe it or not, on TikTok, there are people flaunting, like, I'm married or I'm with this dude or whatever. We have 2 incomes and we don't have all those problems that I just mentioned with having kids.
Hey guys, so these are 6 things that I love about being in a Dink couple. So if you don't know, Dink is dual income and no kids. Okay, starting off strong, number 1 is the ability to travel. So since we have been together, we've managed to travel the majority of Europe together, and it would not have been possible if we had kids.
So we can do this, we can do that, we could do this. It's like they're like, nah, boo, boo. We're adults, but we've never grown up. I fully admit that. Here's Chelsea Handler. You've probably seen this already. If you've seen the rounds, incredible video here.
This is a day in the life of a childless woman. I wake up at 6 a.m. I remember that I have no kids to take to school, so I take an edible, masturbate, and go back to sleep. I wake up at 12:30
Just for the record, you can masturbate with or without kids, but we'll continue.
p.m. and get ready for a busy day of doing whatever the I feel like. I put on my most impractical and stylish shoes since I won't be chasing a child around the grocery store. I go to my fave spot in Paris to grab a croissant. I do a meditation sesh on the plane since I have no screaming kids, allowing me all the time in the world to become enlightened. The weightlessness of my existence has granted me superhuman powers. I teleport myself back home. Then I get ready for a night out with whatever hot guy I met on Raya that morning. I call up a babysitter and tell her that I don't need her since I still don't have kids. Now it's time for a workout, so I hit Mount Everest for a quick climb. I invent a time machine, go back in time, and
Hey! Freeze, you bastard!
It's amazing what you can do when you have this much free time. And that's a day in the life of a childless woman.
That was dope. I'm not going to front. I have a little different take than others. Now, I don't disagree with what Matt Walsh and others were saying about her, but the TikTok is undeniably dope. And I think at this point it has 10 million views, 10.6 million views. So say what you want to say. Those views speak for itself. Get an A or an F on someone who's auditioning for a role on The Daily Show. Did I know that she was auditioning for a role on The Daily Show before that video came out? No, I did not. Success, great marketing, great use of TikTok, great use of social media, great video. It's actually funny. I really like the video. What am I showing here? I meant to show YouTube royalty. Broken Traditions in the chat says, I heard she said she had 3 abortions in high school. I did not hear that. Broken Traditions would know all that kind of inside stuff way better than I do. But I did not hear that. But I felt it, though. I'm not surprised to hear that. Even though I like the video, I agree with those like Matt Walsh and everybody else who kind of piled on. They took the bait. It was bait. They took the bait. Tucker, Matt Walsh. Tim didn't really take the bait. He replied to it. You know, Tim's unique in his milquetoast way. But they went all in. Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens. I agree with them. That's not a video from a happy person that has no kids. Chelsea, it's okay to admit that you wish you did at the end of the video if you wanted to. It looked like you're unhappy. And I agree with them on that take. The video's still good. The video's still funny. I could climb Mount Everest. There's all these things I could do with no kids. Yeah, you could do a lot of other extra stuff. I don't know where the masturbating came from. Like, what is that about? You can take matters into your own hands, or you've got a wife if you're married with the kids. So I don't know where that came from. But it's a godless type of video, though. I can sleep around with anybody I want to, 50 Cent to anybody else. I'm going to talk about Chelsea in a little bit, but yeah, you can do that. You can do your edibles. You can do all that kind of stuff. You can do edibles with children if you want to, as long as you're responsible with it. But it was sad. It was funny and sad at the same time, Chelsea. And it's okay if Ben pointed that out. Tim didn't even go that route. Tim was his own milquetoast self, but he did do it in a passive-aggressive, savage way when he came at her.
The point I made in my video was not that you are miserable. No, I think Chelsea Handler's probably super happy. No responsibility, no job, wake up, do drugs, whack off. I mean, that sounds like gluttony if gluttony could be personified.
But then Chelsea wasn't happy that your typical, what they would label as right-wingers or whatever came at her. And I'm here for this back and forth. So Chelsea came back. This is where I think it's probably one of her handlers, no pun intended. One of her handlers kind of came through and said, let me drop this funny picture of Tim Pool on you real quick.